Hello there, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to the news. Live on Shanghai, I'm Nitya Sarachandra.
And I'm Dhamike Kanayaka. Coming up are your top stories. The President declares open the Mangrove Museum in Chilau. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe denies newspaper report misquoting the President on Padayatra. Minister Harin Fernando says the corrupt gang led by Mahinda Rajapaksa is preparing for a Padayatra in fear of the law. The pension payment problem of retired disabled war heroes to be solved. Another IS terrorist attack in France. Now, our lead story this evening. President Maithripala Sirisena declared open the Mangrove Museum at the Pabbala, Chilau today. The mangrove conservation program was also launched to coincide with the opening of the museum. This ceremony was organised in connection with the World Mangrove Day today. The President also inspected the museum. The Mahavali Development and Environment Ministry, Sea College Institute of the United States and the Lanka Minor Fisheries Federation entered into agreements to protect the mangrove environment in 14 districts of the country in 2015. This program is one of the steps of these agreements. Minister Mahinda Amaravira, Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province, Dharmasiri Dasanayaka and the Director of the Sea College Institute of the US, Paul Allen Sox, were among the large gathering to attend the ceremony. The enshrining of treasure items at the main bund of the Moragahakanda Kaluganga Reservoir project took place yesterday amidst a gathering of hundreds of thousands of people. This event reminded the ancient heritage of irrigation culture of this country. The foundation stone of the project was laid on the 25th of January 2007 with the aim of providing several development benefits for the people in the north central and eastern provinces. Addressing the ceremony organised to deposit treasure items at the Moragahakanda Kaluganga Reservoir Bund, the President said that this project, which was launched with the aim of providing benefits to people of Rajarata when he was holding the Mahavali ministerial portfolio, had been delayed due to various reasons. He said his dream has now come true. Moragahakanda Kaluganga project has been reinvigorated for the benefit of the people in the area. The President said he clearly understands the suffering of Rajarata farming community.
Now, Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe claimed that news reports highlighting that the President has stated that there was no objection for conducting Padayatra by a group of MPs said to be in the opposition if it is not against the SLFP was entirely false. The Minister was responding to a newspaper report which highlighted a distorted version of the President's statement at a media conference in Colombo today. The Minister made this statement referring to news reports published in two Sinhala and English national newspapers today. These two news reports have quoted parliamentarian Prasanga Ranatunga as making a statement on the matter. In the English newspaper, it has been reported that the President has had no objection for the Padayatra. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe said that President Maithripala Sirisena has responded to these news reports when the Cabinet of Ministers met in Colombo this morning. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe said that in a front-page news item, the Divina newspaper quoted MP Prasanna Ranatunga as saying that there is no obstruction for Padayatra if it is not against the SLFP. The Anand newspaper carried a news item under the headline of, quote, President doesn't object to Padayatra, unquote. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe said that the President has clearly stated that these news reports were false. He also quoted the President as saying that he will not support the Padayatra organised by a group of MPs against the government. He also condemned the attempt. He said that the President has made a request from editors of the two newspapers to correct these news items. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe further noted that when reporting events attended by the President, the media institutions should act with great responsibility. He added that editors of newspapers have the liberty to contact the President at any time to check the news report, which was highlighted in his statement before publishing it. However, the government will never grant such irresponsible media freedom to journalists. It is now crucial to conduct an inquiry into the publishing of such distorted statements.
Now then, A priest has been killed in an attack by two armed men on his church in the suburb of Rouen in northern France. The attackers entered the church in Saint-Étienne-du-Rouvray during Mass, taking the 84-year-old priest and 4 other people hostage. Police later surrounded the church and the French TV said shots were fired. Both hostage takers are now dead. The Iraq news agency linked to so-called Islamic State said 2 IS soldiers had carried out the attack. President François Hollande said the men had claimed to be from IS. Speaking in Saint-Étienne-du-Rouvray, he said the attackers had committed a cowardly assassination and France would fight IS by all means. Pope Francis decried the pain and horror of this absurd violence. A French Interior Ministry spokesman said one of the hostages had been critically wounded. He said the hostage takers had been neutralized after coming out of the church. French prosecutors say one person has since been detained over the attack. Police sources said it appeared the attackers had slit the priest's throat with a knife. The area was cordoned off while the church was searched for explosives. A French TV channel reported one of the men was known to the French intelligence services.
Now, former President and parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed his views on the march held by the opposition MPs. He was responding to questions raised by media in Colombo today. Former President and MP Mahinda Rajapaksa said that this march will be launched with the blessings of all religions. Answering a question raised by journalists, he said that they eagerly await for receptions to be held to welcome them during their march. He expressed the belief a large number of people will arrive at the Go-Face Green.
Minister Harin Fernandes says that a group of MPs acting as the opposition while in the alliance is preparing to participate in a march from Kandy to prevent the corrupt gang led by Mahinda Rajapaksa being brought before the law, but not because of the love of the people. He made these comments at a media conference in city called the United National Party headquarters in Sri Jawardenapura Kotte today. Minister Harin Fernandes said that those people were planning to take to the streets to escape from legal tangle in which they are being tightened. Some persons who were remanded and later released had been welcomed like war heroes in the recent past. He noted that if this Padayatra is coming from Badula, then those people will be welcomed with garlands and treating them in dancehals. There is a freedom in this country to organize protest marches. Calling this march as Padayatra is not suitable. He said it is not a Padayatra but a Brothers Yatra, adding that this is a program aimed at rescuing the brothers. This Yatra is organized to protect Rajapakshas. The group of rogues who are crazy for power is going to participate in Padayatra.
Now, the Maldives hails Sri Lanka as its nearest neighbour and friend. Maldivian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Zahia Zahir, says her country is ready to become a partner in Sri Lanka's development. She was speaking at a ceremony organised to mark the 51st Independence Day of the Maldives in Colombo today.
Maldives commemorates its Independence Day of liberating the country from the British rule on the 26th of July 1965. The Independence Day ceremony was organized by the Maldivian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka under the patronage of High Commissioner Zahia Zahir. Several Maldivian nationals living in the island were among the large gathering attended the ceremony. Maldivian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka Zahia Zahir noted that Sri Lanka and Maldives maintain close relations in all fields.
Your Excellency, Sri Lanka and Maldives have been maintaining very good relations from the past. How do you see the potential of further expanding this?
Sri Lanka and Maldives have had very good relationship socially and also politically and diplomatically in the past. And both Sri Lanka and Maldives, I think, are now looking for more diplomatic opportunities and projects that would bring more investments and which will enhance the economy of both countries. And so I think we are Maldivians who are interested in investing in Sri Lanka are being given this opportunity to come and be part of your economic development as well. And here in the High Commission, we are working very closely with Sri Lanka Maldives Business Council and also with the National Chamber of Commerce to facilitate this. And also Sri Lankans who have been interested in investing in Maldives and doing business in the Maldives are being given the information to go ahead, as they please. So, for example, even now we have mega companies from Sri Lanka investing in our tourism industry, and they are doing very well. So I think in the future there are more opportunities to invest in our tourism industry as well as other industries, and also in trade development. So I think we are working very much in the economic field right now, and I hope that we will be able to enhance the economic development of both countries as a result of this. And I think we have lots of people, lots of Maldivians residing in Sri Lanka, and today I would take this opportunity to thank the Sri Lankan people and the Sri Lankan government for the hospitality and the assistance they give to our people. Our people almost feel like home in Sri Lanka, and also there are quite a few thousands of Sri Lankans working in the Maldives in a gainful way, mostly in the tourism industry, in the financial industry, and also in some social areas as well. So I think we are still very much, Sri Lanka is our closest neighbor and our closest friend, and I pray that this remains in the future as well.
Now, the Defence Ministry says the pension payment problem of the retired disabled war heroes of the three armed forces and the police who have not completed 10 and 12-year periods in active service will be solved in 3 months. The fasting campaign of war heroes has been called off when this decision was conveyed to them by a group of government representatives. A group of officers, including Minister Duminda Disanayak and Defence Secretary Karunasena Hettiarachchi, met with the members of the retired war heroes who were participating in a fasting campaign opposite the Fort Railway Station. They informed them that the problem will be solved within 3 months. Minister Duminda Disanayak said that the President has issued instructions to officials to solve this problem. The Defence Secretary and the Finance Ministry are taking measures to solve the pension payment issue of retired disabled soldiers. They have pledged to solve this problem within 3 months. Retired disabled war heroes yesterday staged a protest demonstration in Colombo, urging the authorities to grant the pension payment which was deprived of 2,884 war heroes who have retired and left the service in three armed forces without completing 10 and 12-year service periods due to their disabled condition. They have launched a fasting campaign opposite the Fort Railway Station, stating that although they were given a discussion with an additional presidential secretary yesterday, it has not materialized. 2,591 disabled war heroes of the Army, 68 of the Navy and 94 of the Air Force, along with 132 police personnel, have made applications for their pension payments entitlements. This was disclosed by Director of Army Salaries and Documents Brigadier Sanat Pereira. He said that the Sri Lanka Army or the Pension Payment Department has no provisions to make pension payments in addition to Army officers and other rankers who have served less than 10 years and 12 years in active service in accordance with the Pension Payment Code. Therefore, they were deprived of service pension payment only. Otherwise, they're being paid their salary and disability allowance. A disabled war hero who has not completed the period of service of 10 and 12 years is entitled to a pension of 50,000 rupees given to a normal war hero. He is also entitled for 9,000 rupee disability pension payment till the completion of age up to 55. Public Relations Officer of the Defence Secretary, Brigadier Prasanna Chandrasekhar, said that according to the existing pension payment regulation, the relevant war heroes cannot be given service pension payment, but the necessary methodology for this purpose is now being prepared. He added that those disabled soldiers were demanding us to indicate dates of the payment of pensions. He said that he has informed them it is difficult to reveal details as there were practical issues. There was a problem in the methodology. All files were sent to relevant authorities. The President and the Defence Secretary have issued directives to settle this problem.
And now for a look around Asia in 1 minute.
Heavy rainfall over the past 2 days create flood-like situation in several places of India's East-West Bengal state. Around 500,000 people have been affected in the crisis. Police in Bangladesh have killed 9 suspected Islamist militants after a gun battle in Dhaka. Police were searching the residential area of Kalyanpur when they were attacked by handmade bombs. In a big relief for Bollywood star Salman Khan, an Indian court acquits the actor in 2 poaching cases dating back to 1998. About 100 units of SoftBank Corp's pepper have been ordered in Taiwan, with the first appearance of the human-like robot to be in some banks and Carrefour SA shops on the island later this year, executives in charge of the robot's sales in Taiwan said Tuesday.
Now, the International Trade Ministry reiterates that there was no threat of losing jobs for any professional in the country by implementing the proposed Economic and Technical Cooperation Agreement, or ETCA, with India. Addressing media conference in Colombo today, Minister Malik Samaravikrama said that the agreement will be presented in Parliament 1 month prior to its signing. Discussions on the signing of several agreements aimed at further expanding bilateral trade with India, China, Pakistan and Singapore are now underway. A high-powered Chinese delegation will visit the island next week, an Indian delegation in the following week, and the Singapore delegation by the end of this month. Continuous discussions are underway with Sri Lankan trade chambers and professional agencies on these draft agreements. Minister Malik Samaravikrama told a media conference that all activities relating to ETCA will be carried out with transparency.
Basically, we have discussed all these agreements, what we hope to discuss with China and India and Singapore, with all the trade chambers, with all the professionals, which comes under the United Professional Movement. And separately, we have also discussed with the GMOA from time to time. So we are continuing the discussions, and we have even invited one of them to be in the negotiating team. So I think for the first time we are opening this out. We have been very transparent, and in addition to that, I have invited all the political parties in Parliament to form a working group so that we can brief them from time to time what's going on, and we can get their views as well. Unfortunately, nobody has come back with their proposals yet.
We have a good international platform.
Exactly.
So we have to make use of that platform and engage all countries.
Yeah.
Earlier we were distancing ourselves from everybody, and then obviously our goods and services were going to the West. But we were engaged in a process of bashing the West. So now that we have moved away from this phase, so we have a more conducive relationship to build bridges. And you know that international politics and trade, there is a close nexus. We are recognized internationally to make use of this and move forward.
Now, the U.S. ambassador in Sri Lanka, Atul Keshav, says the United States looks forward to working with Sri Lanka as a key force for maritime security and stability in the Indian Ocean. He made this comment in a message issued to mark the arrival of the U.S. warship USS New Orleans. The aim of this bilateral program is to improve the cooperation between the naval forces of the two countries.
USS New Orleans has entered the American Naval Service in March 2007. The 684-feet ship has a maximum speed of 24 knots. It's a San Antonio-class amphibious transport ship and also used as an intelligence, command, control and communication center. The ship, designed to accommodate Marine Corps, has a crew of 45 naval officers and 313 cadets. The most unique feature of USS New Orleans is its amphibious capability. US Navy says it's one of the most advanced amphibious ships ever put into sea. The US Navy personnel will take part in a 2-day naval exercise of providing emergency, disaster and humanitarian relief during their stay in Sri Lanka. Around 200 Sri Lankan Navy personnel will also participate in the joint exercise. Further, the US Navy personnel will conduct several health clinics in Colombo with the assistance of the US Embassy.
Visit to Sri Lanka has been amazing so far. I just want to say you guys have fantastic tea, and I've really loved it so far, and everyone else has that I've talked to. I'm really just very happy to be here, talking with the Sri Lankans and the Navy and the Embassy and just doing what we can to build partnerships. So
This is the second US Navy warship to visit Sri Lanka in the last 4 months, following the visit of the US 7th Fleet flagship USS Blue Ridge in March this year. USS New Orleans is deployed for 7 months service in the Middle East and Southeast Asian regions.
And now to give you a stock update, the all-shares price index closed at 6,387.85 points, dropped by 9.24 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 3,406.75 points, also dropped by 5.21 points at the end of trading in Colombo Stock Exchange today. Now the turnover was 265 million rupees. Now this is a summary of the market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Welcome back. You're watching Rupavahini Channel English News. Now let's have a look at stories from around the world, and we start in Japan. Now 19 residents have been killed in a knife attack at a care center for people with mental disabilities in Japanese city of Sagamihara. Such attacks are extremely rare in Japan. Now the incident is the most, or more like the worst, mass killing in decades. Police have arrested a man who worked at the center until February and who turned himself into police after the attack. He reportedly said he wanted people with disabilities to disappear. The brutal killings have shocked Japan, one of the safest countries in the world. Chief Cabinet Secretary said it was a very heart-wrenching and shocking incident in which many innocent people became victims. The 26-year-old sent letters to politicians in February in which he threatened to kill hundreds of disabled people during a night shift. He was kept in hospital for almost 2 weeks before being released. He drove to the care facility located about 50 kilometers from Tokyo in the early hours of the morning, armed with several knives. He entered the building by breaking a window at 02:10 local time. He began attacking residents by slashing their throats. Staff called police around 20 minutes later to report what was happening. The stabbing rampage lasted around 40 minutes. His 19 victims were aged between 19 and 70. Another 25 people were wounded and 20 seriously.
And now for some international news in brief.
At least 7 people have been killed in 2 bomb attacks near the main entrance of the airport in Mogadishu. Thick smoke could be seen rising from the area, where there is also a base for African Union peacekeepers. At least one of the bombs were detonated by a suicide attacker in a vehicle near a checkpoint. The militant Islamist group Al-Shabaab has said it was behind the blasts and its target was the AU forces headquarters. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir yesterday replaced his vice president and rival Riek Machar, a move that could potentially undermine last year's peace deal and reignite war in Africa's youngest nation. According to a decree for the appointment of the first vice president of the Republic of South Sudan. Kiir said he had appointed General Taban Deng to the post. A wildfire northwest of Los Angeles has forced the evacuation of some 10,000 homes as it expands across a rugged 51 square mile zone fueled by high winds and hot weather. Helicopters are being used to tackle the blaze, nicknamed the Sand Fire. The fire has destroyed more than a dozen homes in 3 days. Nearly 3,000 firefighters are working to contain the blaze, while only 10% of the fire was under control.
Spain registers first Zika.
A woman in Spain infected with Zika virus has given birth to a baby with the brain disease microcephaly, thought to be the first such birth in Europe. Authorities revealed in May they had detected microcephaly in the fetus, but the couple decided to keep the baby. The baby was born by the cesarean section after 40 weeks of pregnancy. The first round-the-world solar-powered flight has been completed after the Solar Impulse aircraft touched down in Abu Dhabi. Bertrand Piccard piloted the plane for a final time, steering it safely from the Egyptian capital Cairo to the UAE. It brings to an end a voyage that began in Abu Dhabi on the 9th of March last year. The 17-stage journey covered some 42,000 kilometers, taking in 4 continents, 3 seas and 2 oceans. NASA has planned a 16-day astronaut mission in deep Atlantic Ocean with conditions similar to what astronauts could face on planet Mars. The mission started on the 21st of July with 6 astronauts diving into Aquarius Reef Base, 19 meters below sea level. The mission, termed as NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations, will help astronauts and mission teams to check their equipment and skill for future Mars missions. Aquarius Reef Base is located 19 meters below the surface of the Atlantic Ocean in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. A famous white humpback whale has been spotted on his annual migration to Australia's north. Megaloo is known for his distinctive color and for many years was the only documented all-white humpback whale in the world. He has been sighted off the coast of the New South Wales state, including the resort town of Byron Bay. Megaloo's journey up Australia's east coast has attracted a large number of whale enthusiasts.
Time for sports, and it is cricket. But it was not entirely a pleasant day for the Sri Lankans. Australia were 66 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in their first innings at close of play on the first day of their first test against Sri Lanka at Pallekele International Stadium in Kandy. Sri Lankan skipper Angelo Matthews won the toss and decided to bat first. Australian pace bowlers maintained a nagging length and line from the inception of the game without allowing Sri Lankan frontline batsmen to go for their shots. The five frontline batsmen were sent back to the pavilion for only 67 runs on the board. Debutant Dhananjay De Silva top scored with 24 runs. Kusal Janithpera chipped in with 20. Sri Lanka were bowled out for 117 runs in their first innings. Josh Hazlewood and Nathan Lyon took 3 wickets each. Australian openers Joe Burns and David Warner struggled to stay at the wicket amidst tight bowling of Sri Lanka. Their first 2 wickets fell at the low score of 7. The rain stopped play and the final session of the first day was called off after tea. The match will resume tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.
Now, Sri Lankan netball captain Gaini Dissanayake says her team strives to regain the Asian Netball Championship for the island nation. The tournament will be held in Bangkok. Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara extended his well wishes to Sri Lanka team at a ceremony held at the Sports Ministry in Colombo today. The Asian Netball Tournament, organised for the 10th time in succession, will be held in Bangkok from the 31st of July to the 7th of August. Several new players and veteran players like netball captain Gaini Dissanayake and vice captain Darshika Abe Vikrama were included in the Sri Lankan team, which will play in the B group of the tournament. Afghanistan, Japan, Malaysia and Brunei were the other teams in the B group. Now in your weather update this evening, the Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the western Sabaragamu, central, northwestern and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere after 2 p.m. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precaution to minimize damages caused by lightning activity.
And that's all from us at Rupavahini Channel English News. Thanks for your company.
Good night.